So of the 114,
July
we're,
1st, 2024,
yeah,
Yeah, I think.
so they passed it.
I don't quite understand it, but they're passing a budget.
This is November.
Yes.
Where do I?
wait, let me say.
You're sure it was next year.
Well, it does,
Half of
it
it.
goes for 6 months.
Yeah, so it'll be.
Oh. That's me.
Good. Okay, we're good.
Okay. I'm not on camera, but that's.
So, call to order at 4:09.
That's cool.
We note that we have a quorum. It says you're under welcome call. Do you want to say anything? Or do I go right into this? Okay, so, we'll go over the approval of the October 8th, 2024 meeting minutes. Is there any motion to approve? Motion made, second. Any discussion? Hi, Laura. If there's no discussion, I ask, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, that motion carries. We'll now go into the approval of the October 24 financial statements, which have been presented in this package. And I would turn it over to Deanna and or Jim for any kind of conversation relative to it.
So the T-bills, the current value of the whole, cash equivalent account is 2,266,000. So that's, it was 4,600 last year and 11,450 to date in 2021. We had a bill that just matured in October and we didn't review it. We kept it in the money market. The money market yields 4.79%. It's higher than any of the T-bills that we were offered, and it was only some of it's liquid. There's an upcoming one that will mature in November.
Likely do.
So I'll be able to say.
Keep liquid.
Cash is good. The accounts receivable are all contracts. The town of Queensbury for half the year, Warren County for 2 months. ARPA. So ARPA, we submitted our final request for disbursement. So we had normally we have to present the receipts to receive the disbursement. So we gave the receipts to the amount of 5,000 something. And we have proposal for what we will spend the remainder of the money on in 2025. So they will be dispersing the full balance remaining. So it's going to be 32,026 of which will be recorded as deferred income.
26,000.
And have you expended the difference? Is that it?
Well, we will by
We
the
will.
end of the year.
So this is the one that we had, all old expenses is already in.
That's the board designated fund.
Okay.
That was
So then this is the other one.
So, and just to be clear here, that is a housing related
Mhm.
award. And so the proposal that we submitted is a proposal that will allow us to continue to develop the various concepts that could include housing in a county with a planner. And one of the areas that are including in that proposal is any work that we would want to consider in Tech Meadows. So the proposal was enough for the county to obligate the funds, but we won't commit the funds until we negotiate a contract to the proposal, which would probably be much.
In Tech Meadows can be commercial or whatever is approved.
So-
The zoning.
What I'm trying to do is to utilize those funds for 2 reasons. One, they'll provide us with an independent assessment of both the kind of ideas around expanding that zoning definition for the park, if it was appropriate. And also, they're an entity, the entity that we've got this proposal from is an entity that has done work with town of Queensbury before. It's not currently under contract with either Queensbury or the city. So I feel like they're a good party if we wanted to use whatever they have. You know, in the discussions that the city might have with with Queensbury. I think they're objective and also well known at Queensbury. Ian, it's John Ian, he's a plan and out of Saratoga. I had not met him. We had made, yeah, he did work with Queensbury on a number of their park related and recreational related stuff years ago. But most of his work has been sound. Anyway, I just wanted you to know that contract probably won't be finalized until next year, but the funds from the county would come to us ahead of time based on the proposal that we submitted. The only danger we have here is if we don't spend the money the way
Next
we
year.
said, then they would claw that back.
But that's, you have all next year to do that. Okay,
Otherwise, we're overall tracking the budget, if we take into account that we're short every month, for the county's allocation based on the budgeting. Timing of the budgeting last year prior to the approval of their budget, same thing for Glens Falls. But we're under that 5,000 per year on the month action.
Exactly. She does have some information, particularly for you, Jim, who hasn't been here before. We're going to talk about the budget and the resolutions around several of the things that have to be voted on by the board by the end of the year. For as long as I can remember, the increment to salary has been at 3%, and that's what's been put into this year's budget. But that goes back for as long as I can find budgets. And the SEP contributions have been, that's to the retirement account. That has been anywhere from 9 to 12%, but during my tenure here, it's always been 9. And the health insurance, there are only 2 of us right now that are carrying it. The year-over-year increase was less than I was expecting. I thought it would be more than 20%. It's a little bit less than 20%, maybe 15 right now.
Yeah,
But the employees carry 25% of whatever the cost is, and the organization carries the rest. I'm pleasantly surprised by the health insurance not being more. But those are just reference points for you for the future accounts. I think we're in very good shape. I don't see any extraordinary expenses coming in the last 60 days here that are going to take us up.
what is the other income pass through?
oh, that is, marketing that we paid for out of the EDC that was reimbursed by the state obviously.
We're the entity that does the work for the agency. We have to, right, so we have to submit an expense against that.
So you don't have any issue anymore, with spoils.
Don't say that.
And we try not to talk about that.
I'm sorry.
But it's okay, yes. We started charging money. It seems to.
That's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, don't, sorry if I said it. So is there anything else on the statement of activities? I had just a travel reimbursement kind of pops out there at the bottom of the statement of activities.
That was for my attendance at the Regional Planning Board's forum up in.
Okay, it's just weird that it popped out there.
So,
As opposed to,
well, we lay them in flat. You know, it's like 112, 112, 112, when you experience them, they're all one big number.
got it.
Most months we run a positive variance.
Does anyone have any other questions? Relative to this, if there are any questions, then I would ask for a motion to approve the October 24 financials. So moved. And second, any discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstained, the motion carries. Review the proposed 25 budget.
Yeah, that's called.
Thanks.
So I think I included one of these, at the last. minute. This one, it just shows what it's the same as this budget that was originally included. I just added what we had approved and the variance.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe the last page is all.
It's the last page of the book. I have enough, yeah, I brought my own if anyone needs it. You know?
Well, that's probably-
Okay, yeah.
I think the
It
last
just happened.
page.
It's the last page of the book. I have enough.
Well,
There's a delay on the,
As long as it's still recording.
okay,
Why is the sound suddenly?
it's.
Because you were on the TV.
It's like it's. There's a delay on the. Okay.
Why is the sound suddenly?
It's.
So the sound is being transferred over to the TV and then I can mute the TV, but the mic is still being collected from here. So if I don't broadcast.
You need to have that box up. So there.
No.
I want to make sure you understand what this is. We submitted our rolling forward-looking budget to Paris earlier this year. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
And now what we're basically sharing with you is the budget we're about to show you varies from that,
Bless you.
5,000.
which is actually pretty good. That was purely projection. And then you can see where the categories are, but we're gonna go through them.
And you go into Paris and update or, no?
Generally, no.
Okay.
No. You'd have to ask their permission to open them up to do it, and so. You'll,
It doesn't need to be, it's a budget.
Yeah, can only be wrong. Unfortunately.
all right, so how do you want to go through the budget for the next year?
Well, nothing changed in the contracts. We realize that, we recognize that we need to increase our sponsorships. If we want to make the math work. It looks like the allocations that we get from the municipalities cover the salary on the personnel expenses. And everything else programming is covered by membership and sponsorship. We reduced what we thought we were gonna get for EDC events because we seem to have been over budgeting for that year every year, so that's down to 10,000 instead of 20.
Is that a net number though? Or is that the gross revenue?
Well, it's not net,
No, it's
because
not.
the expenses tend to go to lines like marketing or events.
Okay.
It is the income that comes in that is not sponsorship related, typically.
Yeah.
But I can't say that we budget to know that for our
Yeah.
events.
The expenses are down below, I know.
So
Um,
when you say EDC events, that's what people are paying to go to the event. It's not related to sponsorships or something.
Well,
That's
so
what
we
I
might
thought.
have events that don't have tickets that might be like CEO events, and so
Okay.
there won't be tickets, but there might be sponsorships for it.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a little bit where you can have one and not the other in both ways, but this is tickets. Primarily our bunch of what we had, I think we had more than one.
And why did you drop down sponsors ships versus no, you're adding to it, excuse me.
Yeah.
Added up, got it.
This,
Going the wrong way.
this might be easier for you to follow because it shows last year. as well
That
as-
was an email to us, wasn't it?
I don't
I
think so.
think it's in your back.
Yeah. Okay.
So we raised membership, 10,000. We're so far, we're already at, 13,000 for next year. Great. Just to remind everyone, maybe Jim won't here, but we were maybe at 13,000 3 months into our membership campaign previously.
Well, you did the right thing to start to put it in an organized fashion and ask. Right?
We are budgeting.
Well, to get back to that, we've already got a list of between 50 and 100 targets that are not members that we contact in some way. And I am working with other, some of our existing members to look at other organizations that I don't have on my list, but we should. So I suspect that most of these are businesses that are Saratoga and South, but are doing business or are looking to do business in Warren County. And so I suspect that most of that growth that we're proposing here is going to come from that. It's not that we're looking to try to tap the existing base for more money. I think it's that we're trying to grow the base.
So someone like Nemur, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
How does he get it, like, thanked or addressed, or is it how we treat someone who does double duty like that?
Well, we're involved with, particularly Robert, in a lot of different ways. He brought his sons to our annual.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
we're looking to try to engage some of them as well. But he's deeply involved in a number of our initiatives, including the work we do with Dr. Duffy on the Partnership for Community Belonging. And he has certain passions, and one of his passions is engaging young people and net new residents. So wherever it is that he desires, like where he wants to go, then we get him involved in that.
Right.
So you see the board and development includes what we used to budget as expenses for events. And after the conversations that we had at the last meeting, we have moved some of these expenses down to marketing now. Because the perception is that the annual luncheon is more of a marketing.
Where is marketing in this though?
Under program.
Okay.
And that's up there.
So essentially, that's where you see that, but. Yeah, programming.
Personnel, we budgeted for, we added Emily and then the changes to salaries, bumped things up a little bit.
This is going to be probably the most closely fitting year since I've been involved with the organization. Because every year I've ever been here, we've walked in with openings into the year. We don't have that this year. And we've had open-ended questions about our revenue when the year started, and we don't have that this year. So I think we have more certainty about our primary sources of revenue and more certainty about our primary sources of cost than we've ever had. Now, what that will mean is that variances are going to be harder for us to account for and still track. From a financial standpoint, that's probably good. From a leadership standpoint, that's less flexibility than we've had. But I also think we kind of have a sense now of what we want to be, like how we're tracking. The only thing that could alter that is if there's significant discussion tomorrow that changes some of the assumptions that we built this on. And we're going to talk about our strategy and what we believe is doable with this, but that's still an outlier, but I can't imagine.
So in program expenses, that $26,000 grant is not about. Program expenses in marketing. In the overhead, the increase is due to two things. One, phone bill, promotional rate, find out. I don't do anything about
This is
it.
the cell phone.
Yeah.
We were paying less than $20
Yeah, we were
per
paying-
line per month for everybody for like 3 years.
$85.
You need to switch, not put them under the LDC.
Well, it was a great contract that the state had, but now what happens after a certain point is they switch you to more of a retail cost.
So it's double, it's a little bit more than double actually, and I had forgotten to budget for the CAM expenses that I shared earlier expenses, and so that was added in for the recast. I had forgotten those in the original.
The way they allocate those is by square footage and the portion cut.
So,
Once a year, right?
yeah, and we have a reduced rate on that cut until 2028, I believe, and then that's gonna go up. So.
On the column that says 24 Paris approved, did something go wrong on your salary line? Did you just not finish the name, the number, or the 426 versus 400? And not that it matters, but
Oh, yeah, for sure.
okay, because yeah,
Sorry. I don't, it's like one's,
Yeah, like, then.
I mean, I can go get the exact.
No, that's fine. I mean, I don't know what we have to do relative to approving something like this, that's why I asked.
For the Paris,
Well, so it's
That's
zeros
already-
out, so that's the. amount
Yeah, I
down
know.
here.
that's already done, all we were doing is providing that for reference, so whatever that figure is.
It's gonna be zero, it's gonna net to zero. Okay. So this is the review of a proposed budget. So this is a proposed budget, but this has, what we would do is we would say this proposed budget, we push it to the board.
Mhm.
And then they use this detail. Do we approve this budget at the board level tomorrow?
Let's see, tomorrow's the strategic plan.
You could, or you could ask questions and we could bring it back to you in December. I would encourage you to do it though in November, because we sometimes cancel our December meeting.
So the thing that would help me is to actually see 24s here. I mean, if this is my budget, I would like to see it, is this, and this is,
It's a little more consolidated.
this is. So if I go to my P and L,
You
we're
want-
looking at a positive P and L this year versus last year. But this is a negative under the 24 estimate. So what's the real forecasted 24 to this proposed recast of 25?
Sorry, repeat the question?
What's the actual 24 forecast? Because we obviously have to do the 31st of October.
Well, so now that we're not getting that. Well, 57. I'm not sure. I'll have to-
Could you, yeah, because
I
it's
mean,
just that
right
we're
now
looking
it's
at this, but it would be nice to compare it to something that's reality for 24.
Well,
I mean, well, we are in November, I mean, we're pretty close on the year to date.
Yeah, that's what I was even using that as October. So that's why I said, I think we have a positive. You do 14,000 PM. Year to date.
yeah, if you go to the, you're gonna do it on the thing, but. I want to be clear, though, like the Queensberry number is not in question.
No, right,
If
it's
whether
also,
the-
it's
whether
also.
the payment
budgeted
gets
for,
made
so.
as a cash issue, but it's not one in terms of our ability to fight.
And you're talking about 25 budget?
24 and
24, okay.
Yeah, I brought that up, but it's been invoiced, so it's a.
So this right here really says we're not gonna. There's no net. I can't tell if there's a net in 25. It looks like we're breaking even.
That was designed.
I know that Paris makes you do that, but is that reality?
Well,
It
I
depends on whether we have to pull from the fund balance.
did it because I didn't want to propose anything else, because
Okay.
when I first stepped into the job, I said we would spend into our fund balance the $500,000 over 3 years. And so my view is that the organization now needs to operate at what its funding level is.
Okay. Got it.
You may decide otherwise, like you may decide you want to invest more money in certain areas, but that's your call. I'm proposing a budget that is flat to our fund.
I will provide a more up to date.
It would just be nice to see the forecasted 24 in exactly this presentation, because this one's a little bit
In
more
this one.
summarized.
Okay.
Not that much more about.
I think we went to that because it's better at a high level to just go with that than get into the granular details. So I think that's how we ended up there last year, was that we made it shorter for that reason. But I agree, it's harder for us in this level to make the decision.
I'd like us to continue to simplify this chart. A budget that's less than $1 million should not have. 4
Yeah.
pages of-
This is absolutely, I'm okay with how this presents. And I know this is even shorter, which is Paris. With just the 24 right next to it is.
Those are pretty much your tax headings too.
Yeah.
Those are your main areas.
Agreed. So any other questions before I ask for? Oh,
Well, you don't need to take a vote on it, I don't believe. Is that,
we don't pass it to the board?
They pass it to the board. Usually
they do?
yeah, I mean, yeah,
Because we didn't quite approve it there.
no, I know, for sure.
So should I ask for a motion?
I don't know, that's what I don't.
Well,
That's what we've done in the last 2 years. We've
We can make a
approved it.
motion to approve it, subject to you fixing the numbers as Kathy requested.
Yeah, that's,
So I'm not fixing anything in the actual recast.
Correct,
numbers,
just
only
24.
Just adding, I think. Yeah.
So I would ask for that motion as noted. Is there a second? Second, any discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye. Any abstain?
I did, Laura.
And motion carried. Review of the 25 employee compensation benefits.
So this is a policy discussion.
Mhm.
So last year, when we did our handbook, we didn't have any discussion about hourly employees versus salaried employees.
Mhm.
And when we passed a 3% raise, there was a concern that 3% was inappropriate for an hourly worker because of pennies. And
Okay.
we're not suggesting that you approve an amount, but the policy here, which we sought input from Sue as a HR employee, is essentially designed to say that we're going to provide a flat increase to hourly employees based on whatever the board approves, and a percentage increase to salary. That's essentially what this policy says.
So this is the approval of the employee salary wage increase, or it's a different one?
It's the very last. Yes. Okay. It's called fair equitable salary increase, I think. And we had sought input from our HR team, and I have to tell you, it was underwhelming. We didn't really understand what we were asking. And then we went to Sue and said, how do you guys do this in Hudson Headwaters? And she gave us some input, which led to
That's
this.
great.
And all this is really going to be as an augment to our policy base so that it doesn't look like we're saying to somebody that a percentage, a flat rate has to match the percentage that you give to a salary employee.
Yeah.
It reflects the regressive nature of lower compensation rates, essentially. But it does not dictate what we would make that, only that we would approach it and treat it that way.
So this says the raises will be implemented during the month of January. So you go through that process then as part of the budget and then implement them January 1st.
Yes, and we always vote on them by the end of the year.
All right,
And they've been budgeted at 3% for the salaried employees and $1 for the hourly employees. We would share with the full board when that vote comes up. But the policy itself doesn't have to, it shouldn't.
Sure. No, it shouldn't. It's just a,
So all we're trying to do is to get your input or, basically review of this policy to make sure it's okay by you and that we can pass this on to the board.
I don't have a problem. It works for me. I don't have any other questions. Just wanted to know about when they were going to be implemented. It just clearly identified as January.
Should we make a motion that they recommend its approval?
Mhm.
Do you do any differential based on performance? We do provide that, but we provide a performance related feedback thing to the employees, but the adjustments are not that, they're cost of living. Okay. So we do not tie, so increase. So there's no merit component to it? No. Okay.
I would ask for a motion to approve this. So moved. Second. Second or second. If there's no discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Right.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, the motion carries.
When we meet tomorrow, are we having a regular board meeting?
No, tomorrow is our strategic planning session.
Oh, next week is the regular,
Right.
okay. So all of this stuff is. Okay.
Do you have some other things in here that we didn't talk about?
Well, those are for your reference. These
Okay.
have to do with what I mentioned during the budget review,
Mhm.
which is the salary or the compensation increase.
Oh.
Or they're not listed here.
They're not listed as items, that's why.
You want them to vote on these?
I thought it was a package. I'm sorry. I thought you guys had discussed them all. Okay, so one is the
What do we want them to vote?
statement.
Okay, so we voted only on this policy increase. We did not actually vote on the related.
Okay, so the phone call
Resolution.
distracted me. So resolution, the first one is for the set back to retirement plan. Ever since I've been here, well, it's gone between 9% and 12%. I
Uh-huh.
budgeted for 9%. match. And so. Details are those out there,
Is there a reason why it's not everybody?
it's only full-time salary.
Okay, so Emily is not that, nor is Trish.
The same as for life insurance and other benefits. It's only for full-time salary. In fact. They don't have to be salary, no.
Well, it says here permanent full-time employees, it doesn't say salary.
Yeah, they don't have to be salary, that's right.
So they're just not full-time.
Correct.
For both parts.
The other one is for the health insurance. The split between the employer and the employee for the health insurance and other benefits.
What,
They don't have to follow that. 75 is paid by the employer and
Just
25.
have to reaffirm
Yeah.
every year that the 75.
So they're just not full-time.
That's consistent.
Correct.
By both parties.
The other one is for the health insurance,
For the last-
the split.
Can I make a recommendation for language change back here? Sure. Scratch the word permanent and put regular. We're on
And the first,
On
the
the-
set
on the,
contribution.
the sub-contribution. Remove the word permanent and put regular.
it's a good change.
It's in there twice, Jim.
Yeah, it's second
There's the
paragraph,
second.
it's in there,
Yeah, it's that
And the first one,
and
in
second.
the first paragraph and the second paragraph, right?
You lost it again.
Well, you- environment, that's a subcontract.
that's right.
The word permanent.
It's just not me.
Internet issues?
No, the
So should I do these one by one, or do you want to do all three together?
Well, it goes through one by one and then-
Never do
Yeah,
it
the
together.
third one is the,
Excuse me just one
Wait,
second, Jim.
any changes on the employee health?
Health, yeah, he said that they've done this before. What is the employer life insurance contribution? Is it a percentage? Is it a max? Is it?
the employee pays nothing on the contribution to life insurance. It's a kicker policy that they offer.
Okay,
Fixed dollar amount, death benefit.
50. I mean, okay, so it's less than that taxable.
Yes.
Okay.
Third of these is
The salary wage increase.
actual increase.
So that one you have approved.
I haven't done it, we're explaining. for-
No,
No,
the
you
compensation
approved
and benefits we paid. The third one. The salary.
We already approved that.
I thought we approved the
You
policy.
approved the policy, you did not approve the resolution.
I'm
Two
confused.
different things. So the third of the resolution is on the actual increase. Which is a combination of the salaried employees and the hourly employees. Now, in the resolution. Did you not write the actual amount?
Doesn't look like it.
We're just,
I don't think you have necessarily.
Yeah,
That
I think
detail
it's-
in there.
So essentially what this is saying is that we have budgeted for a 3% increase for the salaried employees and a $1 increase to the hourly employees. And what you're proving, if you approve this resolution, is that what has been budgeted is acceptable to you. The reason we did that was based on an input from Sue and others that said avoid the precedent in your resolution for a percent. So that in the future, you have more discretion about how you set up your budgets. It's really in your budget planning that you have, like, if you want to take it down, then it's because you've already had a conversation consistent with your budget, not because you're trying to change precedent. So the precedent she's suggesting is that you just follow your budget.
So you're not gonna put 3% in here anyplace.
Now, we're going to say that we're increasing the wages of the salary and hourly employees commensurate with the budget. Which is 3% and $1.
in this year.
We don't have to do it that way. That was the counsel that we were given.
You don't have Emily in here.
Been here a year yet.
She has nothing.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
No.
So she is not.
Okay.
So you, if you're okay with those, and you don't want to make any wording change other than the one you suggested, then you could vote on these together.
And these three. So I would ask for any questions before I ask for a motion to approve all three resolutions.
I'll make the motion to advance into the board.
Second.
Second.
Judy, and
With adjustments.
Yep.
yeah,
The
the
adjustments.
permanent. If there's no discussion, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. And opposed, abstaining, the motion carries unanimously. To move it to the board. Okay. Is there any other business anyone like to bring to the table? No executive session necessary, or is there one? Okay. No, next board meeting is November 20th, and the next audit committee meeting was December 10th. And with that, I would call for a motion to.
I will make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll
Thank you.
second that.
I'll
And there's no discussion.
enthusiastically third that.
All in favor?
Aye.
What do you guys do for a holiday something?
Yeah, what's the Christmas party day, the 13th?
Which one? She's gonna talk about.
Okay.
I think we're gonna talk about.
Are you going up to our street right now? Yeah, I'm taking Betty.
Oh,
I'm bringing her up. Yeah, I gotta pick her up and at my hotel. I'm her driver.
Please hold.
Here tonight. Judy had her last week. I get her this week.
I know, I had her last week.
She told me all about it. No, I probably should.